All right, man, peace. So, brothers, right after the NBA All-Star break, prepare for Laker Watch, where the NBA and many of these television pundits hone in on how well or how unwell the Lakers are performing on the basketball court. Watch for many controversial finishes where seemingly the Lakers are going to get a bunch of referees' whistles that they do not deserve. But look, at the end of the day, this is an entertainment league. It's really for the best that LeBron James makes the playoffs. Even if he gets wiped out in the first round, it doesn't really matter. They need LeBron James in the playoffs. They're not going to allow the Sacramento Kings to make the playoffs over the LA Lakers, and it wouldn't be the first time that the Kings got robbed in favor of the Lakers. Point being is this: watch for some controversial finishes in the second half of the season, and if the Kings do make the playoffs, it's going to be because they play so well that they're going to be able to overcome and nullify many of these referees' whistles near the end of these games, because both the Kings and the Lakers bear watching. So anyway, Stephen A. Smith is going to issue a proverbial mea culpa because he's gone on the record on television as stating that Magic Johnson was forced to draft Lonzo Ball as opposed to who he should have drafted, that being De'Aaron Fox. According to him, Magic Johnson contacted him and corrected him and let him know, no, I wanted Lonzo Ball. That's why he was drafted. I make all the basketball decisions. Now, do I believe that? No, I do not. I believe that Magic is just a mask. He's just a face. He acts as an intermediary between the Lakers and the masses and the media at large because he's very good with people. But he has to say certain things so that it doesn't look like he's being puppeted. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Stephen A., how close is this team to a boiling point?
I think this team is these Los Angeles Lakers are very close to a boiling point. And Max, bear with me for a second. A couple of things. Number one, I had some conversations over the last few days.
We're supposed to be resting. You promised me you rested.
I did rest.
Who, you his wife? You talking about you promised me you rested? You going to give him some ass to make him do what you want him to do?
Rest, but I mean, when people call you 1 o'clock in the morning and
that's your problem.
You know, they're big ballers, you got to answer the call.
You keep your ringer on at 1 o'clock in the morning?
Actually,
Stephen A. Smith has a phone for each sport that ESPN makes him cover. He got a phone for basketball, a phone for football, a phone for ice hockey, a phone for boxing, a phone for miniature golf. He has a phone for every sport that ESPN makes his ass cover.
Actually, I do. It's sad, but I do.
Airplane mode. Try it.
But let me get this out of the way because this is incredibly important. I've been on the record religiously, Max, saying there's no way in hell Magic Johnson drafted Lonzo Ball with the number 2 overall pick. That had to be enforced upon him by Jeannie Buss.
And Stephen A. Smith, I believe that you said that because you have a mole in the Laker organization who told you that. But since Magic Johnson called you up, now you have to go public and put out a different type of information because you don't want to hurt Magic's feelings or continue to hurt his feelings.
All right? My position was clear. Magic Johnson's a basketball savant. There's no way he could make this error.
He's an on-court basketball savant.
Because I have repeatedly stated that Lonzo Ball is not worth the number 2 overall pick.
Well, we don't quite know what he's worth yet. He's only in his second season. As far as I see with Lonzo, I see someone who has the potential to be a very good starting NBA point guard, but I'm not quite sure if his mental is there. I'm not quite sure how fully invested he is in becoming as good as he should be. But I guess we'll find out over a process of time.
Hold on. It's very, very important that I say this. Magic Johnson emphatically denies that was the case. Jeannie Buss had absolutely, positively nothing to do with him taking Lonzo Ball number 2 overall.
Allegedly.
Jeannie Buss has completely relegated basketball decisions to Magic Johnson.
Allegedly.
Magic Johnson's words to me don't look nowhere else when it comes to basketball decisions made by this franchise.
Stephen A. Smith, I can't believe what I saw on TV the other day. That was unbelievable.
But right here, I'm the guy. And my response is, you got it. My apologies to Jeannie Buss.
Yep.
Magic, I'm looking right at you.
So
it was a damn mistake. Let's just call it what it is. Because Lonzo Ball, I'm not saying Lonzo Ball can't play. I am saying that I have a right to look at you at the number 2 overall pick and then look at every subsequent pick and ask, where do you compare to them? Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Markkanen, Smith Jr., Donovan Mitchell, the list goes on and on.
No, the list does not really go on and on, because I don't see how Lauri Markkanen has had a better career thus far than Lonzo Ball. I just don't see it. If I'm wrong about that, one of you brothers can correct me, but I've seen Lauri Markkanen basically be injured for a good portion of his career and be on one of the worst teams in the NBA. So what impact exactly has he had thus far? I think that the only player that you can really say the Lakers possibly should have taken over Lonzo Ball is Donovan Mitchell and maybe De'Aaron Fox, but we knew they needed a point guard because they just let D'Angelo Russell go. So they wasn't going to draft Jason Tatum, and why would you even bother worrying about Jason Tatum when you have Kyle Kuzma, who's had a better 2-year career than Jason Tatum has had thus far, in my view. So, I mean, we could name all these different names. In all reality, they needed a point guard, so they got one.
Now, LeBron can open his flat and talk all of this stuff about how supportive he is for Lonzo Ball all he wants to.
Who listens to or believes 90% of the bullshit that comes out of LeBron James' mouth? Give me a break.
Lonzo Ball can play defense. Can he shoot? I beg to differ. Rondo's been hurt. JaVale McGee's been having a good season when healthy. I get all of this. But there's too much stuff going on. And I think patience is running thin.
Isn't it strange, Stephen A. Smith, you say there's too much stuff going on. Isn't that what always gets said on whatever team LeBron James is on? Who is the only constant in these scenarios, these situations where there's quote-unquote too much stuff going on?
I happen to believe that Magic Johnson, even though he did say he gives Luke Walton his support for the rest of the season, and
of course he does, because Jeannie Buss told him that that's what he's going to do. Okay? Magic Johnson did not sit back and say, you know what, we're going to keep Luke Walton for the rest of the season. No. He wanted to fire his ass. He been wanting to fire Luke Walton. Jeannie Buss said, no, Magic, you're not going to fire him. I like Luke. Luke reminds me of Phil Jackson. I guarantee that's what she told his ass.
And that is a decision that he made. I happen to have heard he damn sure contemplated making a change. And so what this leads me to say, Max, in closing, is this. Luke Walton's in a world of trouble. Luke Walton don't find a way to get this team to the playoffs. Luke Walton gone. I think LeBron...
Right, but what does that really mean, Stephen A. Smith? If Luke Walton does not get them to the playoffs, he's gone. I mean, what are you going to say next? The sun is yellow? I mean, you're not dropping no real information here, brother. We all know Luke Walton is gone at the end of the season no matter what.
Personally wants Ty Lue. I don't think that's going to happen.
Listen to that shit. LeBron James wants Ty Lue. Oh, man. LeBron James wants Ty Lue. So I guess Ty Lue won't have to be an Uber driver anymore. He's going to fly out to L.A. and just deal with LeBron James' shit again.
As his coach, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that's what he wants. I think Luke Walton is not going to be there.
Stephen A. Smith, you already said that Magic Johnson has an idea for who he wants to replace Luke Walton, and it's a coach who's currently coaching in the NBA. Ty Lue is not currently coaching in the NBA. So who were you talking about when you made that statement?
Be there next season unless they get their act together. And I think that when you look at some of these changes, unfortunately, believe it or not, to some degree, LeBron James can be absolved because, as Magic said, the buck stops with him.
Well, we know they're not going to blame LeBron James. That's not going to happen at all because LeBron has made them relevant again on television. And that's what the Lakers are concerned with. They need somebody who's going to create as much attention and energy around their franchise as possible so they can keep making the money that they need to make. The Buss family makes most of their money off the Lakers.
And if the buck stops with him, I have to look at a roster filled with guys who can't shoot to save their damn life. As a result, compromising the level of success that they should have had thus far. Obviously, without the 18 games LeBron missed.
You can't absolve LeBron because LeBron's got eyes too.
Absolutely. In other words, Max Kellerman, every once in a while a broken clock is right. They say a broken clock is right twice a day. And every once in a while, even a blind squirrel can find an acorn. We know that Max Kellerman is not fond of speaking the truth about LeBron James unless it's in relation to Michael Jordan. But we all know that LeBron saw what the Lakers were before he signed with them. So there clearly was another reason why he came to LA in the first place. Signing with the Lakers was just an added bonus, but he wanted to be out in LA.
And when he looked at originally the Cavs, obviously it's because they had Kyrie Irving and they just got the #1 pick, and he knew they could flip that into something good right away, Kevin Love, and he's a talent evaluator. LeBron looked at what the Lakers had, obviously, and thought either they're going to develop or they'll be able to get something good for those players that's going to help me. This time of the season, every season, the cavalry's coming to help LeBron, even if they're not good players.
Right, but Max Kellerman, why the hell does every season LeBron James need a cavalry to come help his ass? Who the hell is he, John Wayne? I mean, you guys tell me that he's the greatest player ever, but every season at the trading deadline, all his teammates are losing their hair from stress, wondering if they're going to get traded to help Bron. Ain't he supposed to be the best player in the league? He makes everybody better, right?
But their reinforcements, they didn't get it done this year. Didn't happen. That's why when I say, do the Lakers have a tampering problem? And I say, yeah, they do. The league is tampering with the Lakers. I mean it. When you hear Greg Pop...
Nah, the league is fed up with the Lakers bullshit. The Lakers really have been using the rest of the NBA as a farm system, as a minor league system for a very long time. That shit is not going to happen anymore. That's number one. Then you compound that with the machinations of LeBron James, Clutch Sports, and Rich Paul. And I just don't think that things are going to end well for the Lakers. I think that they're going to end up getting Anthony Davis, but by the time they get him, LeBron's going to be turning 36 years old.
Greg Pop, when you hear rumors, Greg Popovich is picking up the phone saying, don't trade someone to the Lakers. When the Pelicans are like, oh, Del Demp's going to lose his job if he makes a deal with the Lakers, it's hard to say whether they believe
Well, Del Demp lost his damn job anyway.
The package just isn't good enough. People don't think enough about Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball. By the way, Josh Hart, Zubac at the time, two first-round picks. If they really don't value it that much, or if they're like, no, we're not doing business with the Lakers, which is messed up, right? That's actually a form of collusion, actually. But I'll say this about Lonzo. It is way too early. De'Aaron Fox would have been a better pick, I think, because they went head-to-head on the big stage, in the big, in the tournament. De'Aaron Fox gave him 39 one-on-one, and then stopped him on the other end of the floor.
Right, but I mean, how long are we going to keep going over some college shit? We're in the pros now. Michael Jordan got knocked out of the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row in 83 and 84. You can't judge his pro career by his college career. It's different systems, different players, different coaches. You can't control your teammates. Max Kellerman made a very interesting statement. He said that many of these other NBA teams colluded against the Lakers. No, I think that they responded to the attempt at collusion by the Lakers, because it's very clear that the fix was in when it comes to Anthony Davis from before the season. You're Anthony Davis. You've already signed an extension with the Pelicans for the max. You get to the second round in the playoffs for the first time in your career last season, and that's when you decide to switch agents and go to Rich Paul. So it's very clear that you were never all in on this season, and that's why old Alvin Troutmouth Gentry is done with Anthony Davis. If you see him talking about Anthony Davis, he don't even want to talk about his ass, because Anthony Davis sabotaged their whole season. They could have made the playoffs this year, the New Orleans Pelicans, and they would have had just as much a chance of making a deep run as the Lakers. Anthony Davis just wants to team up with his childhood idol, LeBron James.
Floor, and is now a better pro player and a better athlete, etc.
And a better leader.
Okay, but guys develop at different points. If you took Steve Nash in his second season, you might have said bust.
Absolutely.
You know, if you listen, they just had a #2 overall pick who had a similar game in certain respects to Lonzo, a point guard, D'Angelo Russell. You might have said bust. He just made the All-Star team.
Yep.
Lonzo, at his age, is a precocious player.
Gary Payton had a very poor first couple of years in the NBA.
He's ahead of where most players his age are, even among draft picks. It's just that it's not all put together yet. You may be right, and he's a bust. Look, the issue with the Lakers is the timing has not been right.
Right.
Ingram, Kuzma, well, mostly Ingram and Lonzo are not ready to help LeBron or to have enough trade value to help him to the point where he can really make a playoff run right now.
Right, and whose fault is that? That's LeBron James, because he already knew what he was getting into. And that's why I say, somewhere in the subconscious mind of LeBron James, he actually likes to be on teams where at the very least he'll know that he can point the finger at somebody else if it doesn't work out. He knows that he's in a no-lose situation. If his team doesn't do well, he can blame the coach, he can blame his teammates. If his team does do well, then he looks like a genius and a transformative force on his team as usual. because they're going to give him all the credit. LeBron James is leading this ragtag bunch of young players on a deep playoff run, just like last year in Cleveland. LeBron got so hyped when they traded away all those veterans, because now with the fresh blood coming in, LeBron could take credit for everything, and if it doesn't work, he could say, well, look at what you gave me to work with. That's where LeBron is at this point in his career. So he's going to make one last-ditch run at a championship. His boo thing, Adam Silver, tried to help him, but he couldn't. I think they got mad at Dell Demps for not trying to work with the Lakers, and they fired his ass, because I think that even the owner of the New Orleans Pelicans wanted him to make that deal with the Lakers. Because look, man, at the end of the day, once again, the NBA is an entertainment league. They need LeBron James in the playoffs. It's like when you want to go to see a movie and they have Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or Denzel Washington on the poster for the movie, and you go to see the movie and they're only in it for 2 minutes. You'd be like, what kind of bullshit is this? Or when that Star Wars movie came out, The Force Awakens, they had Luke Skywalker on the poster, and he didn't show up until the very, very end of the movie, and he had no lines. It's like, this is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever seen. The NBA wants LeBron, even though he's not going to win a championship, they want him in the playoffs. And if they can get the Lakers to the 7th seed or some type of seeding where they don't have to face the Warriors in the first round, they would love that even better. So there's definitely something riding in Denmark that all of a sudden Dell Demps will get fired just because he didn't make the Anthony Davis trade and Anthony Davis hurts his shoulder. I mean, give me a break.
But you can't absolve LeBron because he saw what they were capable of before he went to the Lakers.
Here's what I would say to you. I'm not going to absolve LeBron this summer, because if you're the best player in the world, the 3-time champion who went to 8 straight finals, went to 9 finals overall in your NBA career, you're the biggest iconic sports brand going, and you in Tinseltown, Hollywood, la palm trees, beautiful weather, and the whole 9, and wearing the purple and gold, not the Clippers, but the purple and gold, and you can't get brothers to come to LA. I'm looking right at LeBron this summer.
Absolutely. It's going to be a big referendum on LeBron James this summer. We're going to find out if my theory about no superstars wanting to play with LeBron James is accurate. Look, we know Anthony Davis is considered a top player. And, let me correct myself, not superstars, but star players. But, I guess you could say superstars too, because Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard are in that number. But Anthony Davis right now is just a star. He's a high-level star, but he's just a star. But he's also a fan of LeBron, so I don't count him. I'm looking at players who have some wear and tear in the NBA, and who will be considered a peer of LeBron. Do they actually want to team up with him? We'll find out.
But right now, I got a right to look at this roster. And when I look at this roster,
before he signed.
Well, listen, but again, he's not sitting there. It's not like we're sitting there looking at LeBron and saying they should win the championship now. And it's not like he's been outspoken in terms of his complaints. I'm saying we'll look at him in the summer. Right now, I'm looking at Magic Johnson. Because, again, as I look at the squad, you're sitting up there, you talk about Lonzo. I got news for you. I don't give a damn if you're not a bust. I didn't call Lonzo a bust. I think that he got to work on his shot. But I think overall, my issue with him has been his lack of assertiveness. And I'm going to put it to y'all this way. I'm in L.A., okay? Now, I'm coming out of college. I played at UCLA. I didn't play at Drexel. I didn't play at Hofstra or something like that. I played at UCLA, right down the road. Magic Johnson drafted me. We're talking about reinvigorating Showtime. And the number 2 overall pick with a daddy that got a mouth like a faucet, okay? And that's me saying this. That's me saying this. I mean, you know it's bad when I sat up there and said your mouth is like a faucet. I mean, think about that.
Absolutely. I remember the first video that I ever did with LeVar Ball. It was when he had that Titanic matchup against Stephen A. Smith on their show. If Stephen A. really wants ratings, he should invite LeVar Ball on one of these shows where they have a studio audience. It'll be crazy if they do that.
And I'm not knocking LeVar Ball because I like him and I don't blame him for doing it because it's marketing genius.
Absolutely. He is a marketing genius.
But the flip side is you have this personality and your son is a guy that dribbles the ball to half court and is perfectly content with handing it off and go hiding in a damn corner for LA? No!
Well, Stephen A. Smith, who exactly are you going to blame for Lonzo Ball hiding in the corner once he crosses half court when he's on the floor with LeBron James and pretty much every guard that LeBron James has ever played with, other than Kyrie Irving and Dwayne Wade, all have to go hide in the corner whenever they give the basketball up? That's called the LeBron James system. In the LeBron James system, there's room for another wing who can boogie, and that's all they're allowed to do. That's why Kyrie got so frustrated. But if you think that Lonzo Ball is going to be allowed to cross half court and make real decisions in a half court set, that's never going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
For LA?
Look,
no.
Look, Lonzo.
That cannot happen.
That's right. Lonzo is still young. He may be able to address that and become an all-star player. Will he do it in time to really help LeBron? By the way, Lonzo takes like 5 threes a game. Hits 1 out of 3 of them this season. His shooting is much better.
More inexcusable if he's not more aggressive.
But like Kyle Kuzma's only hitting 32% of his shots, and he's taking 6.
But you're giving me numbers. I'm giving you the comparison.
Right, but my point is, they're young players who are working on different parts of their game and developing together. Ingram, Kuzma, Ball, but it may not be in time to help LeBron. So then the question becomes: can Magic identify trade partners to get stuff for them that can help LeBron now?
Which is why I'm saying
the answer is no, because right now there's a spotlight on the LA Lakers. There's a red dot on their forehead, to be quite frank with you. LeBron James has built up a lot of antipathy that he might not even know about, with many of the inflammatory statements that he's made over the last couple of years in the media about white owners, not just in the NFL, but also in the NBA. He's made a lot of enemies amongst these other general managers. So in order for him to win another championship, they're going to have to utilize very high-level chicanery.
I'm saying to you, LeBron ain't the focus for the moment. It has to be Magic, because it's your job to assemble the team. And Magic, we're talking about one of the great winners we've ever seen in NBA history.
Yes, on the court, not as a member of the front office. You're trying to confuse him with Jerry West, Stephen A. Smith. Don't make that mistake.
So guess what? If you know what it takes to win it, why you bringing on your roster a bunch of docile personalities?
We all knew when LeBron got there that Magic and Pelinka weren't simply going to put together a team with LeBron. They were going to sit down with LeBron in consultation and figure out. Remember, they were going to make what they came up with, a strategy that they all signed off on.
Anthony Davis.
Not just shooters, like to start with. We're going to surround you, LeBron, with playmakers, guys who could put the ball on the floor to take some of that burden off of you, right? That was the idea of Rondo, and you had
he got injuries,
etc., right? So LeBron signed off on the talent that was on the team that he thought could help him, signed off on the kind of players they acquired, the way they would play ball. LeBron's play has not been up to snuff recently. I think he's still hurt.
Especially defensively. And yes, I agree with you, Max Kellerman. He is still hurt. It's very clear.
Still hurt. He does not look
I have a question for you, Max.
Physically.
I have a question for you, Max. Are you really saying, I understand your point. If Mike Brown or Paul Silas or somebody like that was the coach, or somebody, or David Griffin, who was a respected GM, was running basketball operations, you trying to tell me it's beyond the realm of comprehension that LeBron James sat up there and said, this is Irvin Magic Johnson, that's my president of basketball operations, I'm going to defer to his judgment?
No,
that's not possible?
LeBron will be involved. By the way, that was public information back then. Of course you're going to consult LeBron about the kind of team you bring.
What I'm saying to you is this. I'm not saying that they didn't have a conversation. I'm saying it's entirely plausible that LeBron James sat back and said, all right, Magic, let me see what you're going to do, because it's Magic.
No, but
so again, that's all I'm saying, because it's Magic.
Would sign off, what it comes down to, LeBron had signed off on everything. What it comes down to is, it's not that Magic doesn't have any responsibilities, that you cannot absolve LeBron. He put his eyes on the Lakers. Maybe it was wishful thinking because he wanted to be in LA and part of the franchise so bad that he tried to see things in the players that wasn't there. But maybe...
That's highly possible. Highly probable, as a matter of fact. That LeBron looked at the roster and he tried to convince himself. He made a little wish sandwich out of the Lakers roster. But that's LeBron's nature. He's like that chick who marries the guy who keeps going to jail, in and out of jail, in and out of prison, and talks about his couple of good qualities, and then acts surprised that once they get married, he's still engaging in a life of crime. It's like LeBron knew when he was coming into the Lakers what he was coming into. A bunch of young players who you're not even quite sure what they can do. And maybe he thought that he could make, a pitcher of lemonade out of these lemons, but it's not going to be the case.
Maybe it's because teams don't want to send players to the Lakers. It could be those things, but the fact is the Lakers right now aren't getting it done, and LeBron knew what he was getting into.
Max and I differentiate when it comes to the timing.
Yep.
I have no problem with you pointing the finger at LeBron this summer, but right now, I'm looking right at Magic Johnson. This is your team. At number 2 pick, Lonzo Lonzo?
LeBron signed after they had Lonzo.
I know that.
LeBron put his eyes on Lonzo. Yeah, he could help.
So Lonzo is supposed to sit up there and make him not want to come to LA from Lake Erie?
No.
Really?
No.
No, that's not really what the issue is about, Stephen A. Smith. The issue is, why did LeBron come to the Lakers in the first place? If he's been in Lake Erie for all those years, he grew up in Akron. It's not like he's a West Coast kid. So what case are you trying to make? Are you trying to make the case that LA was such a seductress that LeBron James couldn't resist? It's very obvious that the reason why he decided to transplant to the Lakers are for other reasons off the court. Maybe it's a part of his process. Maybe it's what his handlers told him to do.
Oh, Lonzo had
All right, guys.
lure for LeBron. Apparently he did. That's on LeBron too.
And let me say this as well. It's also very obvious that LeBron James has known for a couple of years that he was coming to the Lakers, because he was able to synchronize the opening of his quote-unquote I Promise school for the off-season of when he was going to depart from Cleveland.
Lakers currently
But anyway, that's basically it on that. We'll see how things go over the course of this off-season and also down the stretch after the All-Star break, how things transpire for the Lakers. So peace.